What's going on? It's 7 o'clock, part of the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference going down September 3rd, Labor Day weekend. We are back again with another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. This week we're covering the South, both AFC and NFC. As usual, I'm accompanied with my brother from another mother. He's back from the dead. Brother Fox, how you doing?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Hope y'all miss me.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
We did.
There you just a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right.
Hey, just a little bit. Below us, we have not just because he's from the South, but below us because he's on the screen below us. We got Big E, the warden of the South, aka the fantasy football big guy. How are you?
You can't talk the South unless you're talking to Big E. You know how you know what I'm saying? The show was made for me, but blessed and highly favored as always. And shout out to y'all. Y'all make an hour go by fast. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Right.
Brother Fox, before we get started, how can the good folks take care of us?
Hey, as always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is by now, it's the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It goes a long way, and we truly, truly, truly appreciate it.
And right on time.
Albert.
All right on time. You already know who in the building.
Albert, much love, man. Salute you, King.
Salute to you.
Yeah, let me get my water right. No doubt.
All right, now. So we covering the NFC South. We'll start with the South. We got Tom Brady on the board. Buccaneers. Tom Brady is currently ranked at number 82. That for 82. That's a late 7th round pick. I feel like you can get better value later, but to get last year's QB3 at 82, I'm not mad at it. How you feel, Biggie?
I feel similar to what you're saying. I think that you can get better value. I'm talking about as far as rushing wise. I mean, we all know that Brady's not going to run the ball, and that creates a lot of fantasy points. So, Brady, he shined quarterback 3, but like you said, I think you can get better later in the draft, but wouldn't hate on anybody that picked him.
Right.
I personally feel like it's a definitely a good value pick at that point. Tom Brady, I think his receivers this year are going to be deceptively good. People are looking at the Chris Godwin injury is like it's going to have a meteoric effect on his numbers. But Tom Brady has consistently, put up decent numbers. And I think with early in the season, Julio is going to have that offense under his belt. They brought in Russell Gage as well. They obviously still have Mike Evans, who consistently puts up 1,000 each year. I feel like if you can grab somebody like Brady at the late 7, early 8th, that's a meteoric steal because he's going to put up top 5 numbers.
I like it. We got Leonard Fournette at 18. Biggie, what are your thoughts? Too rich, too high?
I don't know. He looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy last time I seen him. Let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? From the South. So you
saying he looked like you and Randy?
I don't know. I take hurt. It hurt me right there. I pulled let me pull the knife out the back on that one. But at the same time, back to Leonard Fournette's fat self, I wouldn't get him. I wouldn't take him where he's going. I was a Leonard Fournette fan, in Jacksonville, and then when he did good, he did well, but he got some blue tint in him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of nervous. I'm very nervous about him. Will we see the same? This year? I don't know. I hope for Mixon the same way, and I know that's off topic, but it's one of those players that he's a tweener for me. I don't want to draft him.
At 18, it does seem a little rich, especially since the man came in 30 pounds overweight to training camp. But as compared to other years that Leonard Fournette has been there, he doesn't really have competition in the backfield. There's no Giovanni Bernard stealing third downs from him. There's no, there's no Rojo back there potentially stealing some carries. So even though he might be overweight, he might be able to run himself into shape and get you production at that 18.
That's a good question.
I prefer him in the third, but I could go like 22, 23, 24. But 18, I feel like there's a lot of still meat left on the bone in the second round for me to take him at 18 personally, given the fact that he's also out of shape right now.
Yeah.
Albert asked Fournette or Barkley. I'm going to go Fournette.
I'm going Barkley.
Same here. I'm going to go Barkley. Barkley's look real smooth in training camp.
Yes.
He looked real good.
I think, yeah. And I'm not trying to cut you off, but I think Barkley's going to be the steal this year. I think a couple of years, I think Barkley's going to be the steal this year. I'm looking at him second round,
As we said previously, follow the money. This is not a contract year for him, but it's a put up or shut up year for him. No doubt. It's, hey, he's going to have to put up if he wants to get a contract.
Mike Evans at 21. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Like you said, Brother Fox, 1,000 yards every year that he's been in the NFL. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah. Consistent 1,000 yards. Plus, he's Tom Brady's number one target in the red zone.
Yeah. No Gronk.
Yeah, exactly. It's 8 to 10 touchdowns each year.
But like I always said, just like with Kelsey, I gotta throw it out there. Scottie Pippen said, "Thank you for our last stand. This will be the last year for Mike Evans." I'll go ahead and call it. You know what I'm saying? And he's been a blue tent a little bit. He gets hurt every game, but he comes back. Catches a couple touchdowns, but he kind of scares me. He kind of scares me. He's older. So, those 1,000-yard seasons are going to have to stop sometime. And hopefully not this year, but maybe next year.
Randy feels some type of way. You can see it in his eyes. He's about
to
he didn't appreciate that. He didn't appreciate that Kelsey comment one bit.
I slipped that in there because I got to get him fired up. You know what I'm saying? He's going to come at me. He saw the preseason game, though. He know we ready.
We got Chris Godwin at 64. Too rich for me.
Yeah.
100%. Too rich for me.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's consensus there. It's too rich. We don't know how not everyone rebounds very well from a knee injury. Not everyone's Adrian Peterson. Most people take at least a year to even come back to looking semi-decent to what they were prior to a knee injury. And playing a skill position like his with competition, and Julio's going to be taking a lot of reps as well. Too rich.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have Cameron Brate. Surprisingly, with no Gronk, is OJ Howard still there?
No, he's on Buffalo.
280. That could be a little value. It's a lot of mouths to feed. He's not a priority, and he's not Gronk, but 280.
They picked up someone else at tight end too, didn't they?
Oh, you know what? Kyle Rudolph, Minnesota.
Right. So that's what I was thinking. Kyle Rudolph, he's a touchdown machine. So I'm thinking that Kyle Rudolph is going to be that guy. For me.
Kyle Rudolph used to be the captain of the blue tent. He ain't sniffed a 16-game season in his life.
Man, what you talking about?
This man was injured in Pop Warner. Like, come on now. I'm not sniffing that. No.
Yeah,
I personally, I feel like Gronk's gonna come back at some point. He's one call away. He's that Ray J one call away. From Tom Brady. He'll be there. He'll be there by midseason.
I think so.
Moving on to what was you gonna say, Big E?
Oh no, we talked about and I think Julio is moving up a little bit. I know we ain't, we didn't talk about it, but I know we're not talking about it, but I think Julio, if he can stay healthy, but them hamstrings are bad. But it's just somebody to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Panthers, we have Baker Mayfield at 248. I guess that's fine. 248. He probably not getting drafted.
Yeah. It's always gonna be the wait and see approach. If he comes out. If he comes out like gangbusters, you may pick him up and store him on the bench, but I think he is what we think he is, and that's
right. And we let him off the hook.
Exactly.
Yeah, we letting him off. Ben let him off the hook. I think a 2-quarterback league they might get him, but nah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, for real, Dennis Green, baby.
Yeah,
always.
At number 2 overall, we got CMC. We already know, Brother Fox.
Renner Center.
Him the Mr. Renner Center. What are your thoughts, Biggie?
Man, my thoughts are I surprised me at number 2. You know what I'm saying? I think we had talked previously in our shows, and definitely, stick to our guns. And I don't think that anybody would have took him, before 4. You know what I'm saying? Because of the injuries. I think that they're gonna ride out. If he's injured, they're gonna ride him this year. I mean, my goodness. I mean, we done 2 years of this. I mean, drag him out on the field if you have to. But at the same time, I wouldn't go 2. Not with CMC. This isn't the CMC that we saw 2 years ago. It's kind of like a Michael Thomas CMC.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't sniff him before 5.
Right.
And even at 5, I'm looking to ship him. I'm looking to ship him before week 5. I don't know. It's just I'm not a CMC believer. It is I used to love his pops Ed McCaffrey when he was in the league, but CMC.
Yeah.
I'm good, brother.
Yeah, it was a guy.
Next up, we have their wide receiver 1, consistent Mr. 1200, all-purpose yards. I think 3, maybe 4 consecutive years. DJ Moore is at 30. That's third round. That's too rich for me. I don't care if it's Baker or Sam Darnold throwing the rock. What you guys think?
I'll let you go, Fox. I've been going first. I'll let you go.
So, DJ Moore he's difficult to judge because even with porous quarterback play, similar to how Hopkins used to do when he was with Houston, he puts up consistent numbers even with poor quarterback play.
Yeah.
So it's like if in your head, like I personally, like when I see the game tape, I don't see a good player. But then when you look at the stats, you see a man who's a stat stuffer. Now, is that because he's putting up numbers at the end of the game because they're losing? Or is it because he's actually like a quality player? In fantasy football, it's all about the numbers, right? And men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And if he's putting up 1,200, hey.
Right. I hate DJ Moore. I will be the first to say somebody has to step out there on a limb. I hate DJ Moore. I don't want to draft DJ Moore. And yes, he does at the end of the game. The stats do look better. But I mean, there's some games that he just completely flops. And then there's some games that he'll catch a 70-yard bomb and it might be for a touchdown. And that just pads his stats so well that I hate players like that. I hate players like that, especially with suspect quarterbacks. I'm staying away. I advise you to too. But I mean, if he's there later than 30, then we could talk. He could be my
30 is definitely a little rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's always been a 4th, 5th rounder, and nothing has changed for him to be bumped up into the 2nd round, in my opinion. Robbie Anderson, 158. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking to target him. Maybe in best ball leagues, because the best lineup gets the best stats get put up. So maybe he goes off one game. You roster him in best ball, but other than redraft, I could care less. Really, I'm not targeting him.
Right.
Yeah, same here. It's
neither quarterback have the tool set to really highlight his skill set.
No doubt.
He's a bye week kind of player that you might pick up for an occasional injury, but you're not looking to stash him for a long time.
I believe that too. I feel kind of like with Robbie Anderson though. I think that he has like boom games at the beginning of the season. We've all saw that. So I mean, if he's there at the end of my draft, I'll pick him up, hope for a boom game, and then try to throw him in a trade. That's just how I like to do. You know what I'm saying? I got to give me a look.
There you go.
Brother Fox ain't giving you none after that.
I know. I said Kelsey.
Forget about it.
I said Kelsey. I messed up.
I give you 2 of them, bro.
All right, I messed up. Yeah, I messed up earlier.
Trimble, the tight end is at 340. Who cares?
Undraftable.
I'm not saying no comment.
Right.
All right. I know that's right.
James, moving on to the Saints, but before we do that, I want to give a shout out to the Fantasy Football Network and the Melon app for letting us do what we do so well. Without them, we wouldn't be able to stream to you guys on multiple platforms. So shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. Shout out to the Melon app. Jameis Winston at 160. I kind of like it. I think that's like a good little that he's got to put up points in that division. He's got what looks like a healthy Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, old man Jarvis Landry. I'm not mad at it. Plus a Kamara for 10 games out of the backfield.
Right. I think the crab legs are plentiful at 160. At 160, yeah, 160, I can deal with them. I mean, especially, when you see with Taysom Hill and he came in and threw 4 picks and then he had like 4 touchdowns and still got like 40 points. I mean, touchdown, the interception, it doesn't hurt you as bad unless your league format is set up that way. So, Jameis throws some interceptions, but he can make some big plays. So I would take him at 160.
Yeah, at 160, that could be a steal. Jamie said like that they have the firepower to move the ball down the field, and to actually put up a good amount of points. It's the only thing that worries me about the Saints is their offensive line. They lost Armstead over to the Dolphins. And then the kid they picked up, I don't know if you guys have seen, this man got in 3 fights last week with his own player, the left tackle they got. He got kicked out of practice after 3 consecutive fights of beating up his own teammates.
Damn.
Like, come on.
Roger Goodell at? Oh, I said, yeah. Hey, Roger Goodell, he'll be around there sometime.
So I can definitely see that kid somebody's going to get in his head. Some DM's going to, say his girlfriend's phone number or something, and he's going to get kicked out the game.
Yeah, that's some random type stuff right there.
Go down in the DM.
Yeah. We got Alvin Kamara at 20. Too rich for me, personally.
Yeah. With that suspension, you can't.
Yeah, 3rd round, we could talk about it. We could talk some business, but 20, that's still 2nd round. I'd rather Michael Thomas at 21.
Yeah, I just going to have to miss Alvin Kamara. I'm just going to have to miss on him this year because, like you said, the Loman suspension, you don't know what you're going to get. If I can get him and then trade him to somebody I know that loves the Saints, I love to know who your players or who your team is. I love to know that, so, that's how it goes.
You want to be that guy who's after to be after the person who picks Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank goodness. I don't have to think about it.
You don't even want that decision. Like, please, take it away.
All right. Michael Thomas at 65. I saw a second clip of him running routes. He looked much better in the second video than the first video from about 10 days ago. Former 2019 wide receiver 1. 65. That had put him in the 6th round, mid 6th round. I prefer the 7th. If I get him in the 7th, even late 6th, I'll take the risk.
And
I feel like there's
go ahead.
I feel like there's too many quality wide receivers nowadays. Like a couple years ago when Michael Thomas was putting up those numbers, there was a big deviation between him and DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the league. But if you look at it now, with so many quality receivers putting up big numbers, I don't know. I wouldn't reach for Michael Thomas like that.
No doubt. And I agree. He's in the blue tent like he is 65. You know what I'm saying? And then he had a quarterback that was 65 that couldn't throw but 15 yards down the field. So of course the man gonna shine. He dirt. You know what I'm saying? I bring him in. He mud because he ain't played in 2 years. So he done. I ain't drafting that cat, man. Hey, I'm coming out with it tonight.
I like it.
Hey, we got the rookie Olave at 120. I think that's good value.
Yes, sir.
That puts him at like 11th round.
Olave's been eating in training camp, dude.
Yeah, right.
He's been eating in training camp, and it's like apparently he's been putting Lattimore through the spin cycle, bro. Ooh. So I don't know. He might be, if Jameis wasn't his quarterback, I feel like Chris Olave, you'd hear a lot about him next year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
No doubt. Hey, I love Olave. I think Jameis gonna win with him. He gonna have to because he ain't gonna have Michael Thomas. So he's gonna be all right. He'll be all right. Hey, man, you got?
I think that's Trustman at 241. Who cares?
Who? Yeah, that's I know, right?
Moving on to the Falcons, we got Marcus Mariota surprisingly at 278. So he's not even in the top 15. Like, he's not even getting drafted. He's still got the running capability. They gonna play from behind.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like Mariota, he's a poor man's Lamar Jackson. a very poor man's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Poor man's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, yes.
Purple man.
Yeah, like, you know, I personally, I don't think that Mariota is really draftable, but you know, who knows? Who knows? He could come out again like gangbusters. Personally, I'd stay away from him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I got a little note in my notes that says, you know, it names all the Falcons players, and then it says that circled Mariota scares me away because that's with everybody with except for Pitts. Maybe I like Pitts, but I said, I mean, you know, with Patterson and everybody else, Mariota. I mean, he can't be the starter. It had to be the rookie. I mean, it's his name slips my mind, but
Ryder, maybe
Reader.
Yeah, he'll have to take over before I would believe.
All right. Then we got Cordell Patterson at 83. I'm not mad at it. You spent an 8th round pick on a guy who was a running back RB2. Probably won't have the same success, but you're not drafting him as a RB2.
Yeah. No. We just don't know if he's going to get that same production, those same carries that he received last year. You know, Mike Davis was hurt for them, so they were put in a predicament where they had to play Patterson. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Who knows if he's going to have that same production? That's because they drafted that kid, Aguilar or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think Patterson, the same thing. I think Patterson, he was thrust into the role, and he did it at New England and different other places. But he is a beast. I like him. He'll run it back. He'll do, I mean, several things, you know, so I don't know. I mean, if you got Mariota that's just going to, you know, dump it down to him, it's possible he can have a good year.
We got, speaking of the rookie running back, we have him at 145. So he's going like 13th round. And he's an actual pure running back. Mm-hmm. I'll take a flyer on him.
Exactly. Pick him up at the end of your draft, stash him on your bench. If he flashes that potential, hey, that could be something that could win you your league.
Yeah, no. I kind of feel, you know, the rookie hype trains. You know, I always know how I feel about the rookie hype train. But I'm kind of like on that what you were talking about, Seven, with somebody drafts him and you can get somebody else, and then they drop him because he doesn't produce. Cordero Patterson maybe, you know, make some moves and they drop him, and then I can just get him off away with it instead of putting some draft capital in him. You know what I'm saying? They give me a little something there. Yeah, I appreciate you.
A little bit.
Kyle Pitts at 35. I think that's good value. I think he could probably go a little bit sooner, to be honest with you, because 35 is right before the end of the third. He's more or less probably going to go early to mid third, in my opinion.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm a believer in Pitts. I think he's immensely talented. And then I look at Mariota, you know, in his past, he did when he had Anthony Fasano over in Tennessee, he used to put up, he made Anthony, he got Anthony Fasano 2 contracts. So, you know, the man definitely goes to his tight ends. And Delaney plus that, Walker. Exactly. Delaney Walker as well. So, I definitely feel like Pitts is number 3, at least in my book, the number 3 tight end off the board.
Pitts, like I said, I like Pitts. I mean, I like the way he's a wide receiver, kind of like a more slender Shannon Sharp type, you know, to me. You know what I'm saying? I like the way he's building. I think he's going to build up to be a kind of a Shannon Sharp size, you know. But you know, 1,000 yards in a rookie season. I mean, it tells me all I need to know. Plus, you don't have any quarterback, you know, play. You really don't have a lot of weapons. Kind of like a rebuilding situation. So I would draft him.
Yeah. Drake London at 91.
I ain't going with Drizzy. I mean,
8th round.
Yeah, Drizzy. I don't know. I wouldn't even go 8th round. I ain't gonna even lie, because I mean, this quarterback. I mean, it's all falls on the quarterback. I might live to regret saying that, but I mean, you know, I ain't taking him. But he was nice. When he go from USC, didn't he?
USC, yeah,
USC. So.
For me, it's a wait and see. Can the man beat the NFL press coverage? He does not have breakaway speed. He's not quick nor fast. So, you know, like he gonna be there. You know, like the main way how he catches balls is to jump over you. And you know, with Mariota, is he really going to be able to put the ball in a position for him to really be successful? I just don't see it. Like, I'm steering clear of Drake London. I didn't agree with the pick on draft night, and I still don't agree with it now.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I went Pitts before I went London. So that wraps up the NFC. Real quick, Brother Fox, how can the good folks take care of us?
As always, give us that HBO special. If you don't know by now, the HBO special is the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. We always appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. Shout out to the Melon app, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do our show.
Oh, and check out Fantasy Football Network just dropped the Fantasy Football app. And, anybody, you guys could go ahead and check that out. There's some exclusive content. We always appreciate any form of feedback you guys can give us.
Yeah, we love the love, no doubt.
Shout out to Jay the Plug as well in the Pace League. I appreciate that invite, man. That was a huge thing. Tell Carlton, my green Masters blazer better be an XL, and it better be dry clean.
You wear a medium, like you try to talk to us about us fat.
Hey, I've been working on the body now. I might be a medium in a few months,
You're crazy.
He got that depression weight loss.
You know, oh my.
Little sad panda over there, bro.
Hey,
y'all crazy.
Hey, it's better than the reason you lost weight. All right.
Hey.
Hey. Let me break this up, fellas. Hey, break it up. Back to the fantasy football. Let's get it.
It's all love. It's all
moving
love.
on to Matt Ryan. 163. Yeah. That might be a little bit. Well, I mean, that's not too rich for my blood, because 163 has him as a 14th round pick.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Hey, I told you I like Matt Ryan. I was one of my guys, honorable mentions. I got a few, like cackles on that, but I think, like I said, he ain't never had a running back like this, he has some, some legitimate targets at wide receiver, and it's not going to be like last year, so we're going to see him shine a little bit more,
Yeah.
I feel he has an upgraded offensive line, so he's going to have more time. He has a complimentary running game, for play action passes. Hell, Pitts had over 1,000 yards. So, give him a complement of talented players around him. He could be successful. Now, I would say fantasy purposes, is he really somebody you're going to be looking to draft in a 12-man league? Not really. But, again, this could be your bye week. This could help you win your bye week.
Yeah, I'm with it. Number one overall pick, Jonathan Taylor, RB1 last year.
I'm still mad.
Yeah, I know you are.
He should have been a kid.
Talk about that.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it, Big E?
Yeah, let me talk about it. Patty Mahomes, right? Patty Mahomes said he wanted CEH. You know what I'm saying? That's my story. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And I'm sticking to it. When he could have had Swift or JT, and if they would have had them, they probably would have won 3 Super Bowls.
We know.
Yeah, if we just had Kareem Hunt. If we
just
had Kareem Hunt, we might have had 3 Super Bowls.
That's all you need. And Kareem Hunt catch the ball. But I mean, Pat would have made JT catch the ball. Exactly. But at the same time, I mean, regardless, with Swift, hey, we can always hindsight is 2020, but they won't make that mistake again. And JT, I seen him, breaking some film. They had some nice film on him. Like he had a pamper on his helmet. They got those things. They cushion the blow, and he broke a few nice runs. So yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but he's the number one.
Yeah, consensus number one. Fantasy. But see, the only thing that kind of scares me about Jonathan Taylor is that no running back since 2007 has had back-to-back number one overall finishes. So Jonathan Taylor finished overall number one. Who's going to be it this year? I don't think it's going to be Taylor. You can be as hopeful as you want, but I feel like it's going to be somebody who we're not necessarily thinking of. Someone like a Najee Harris or a Swift. It's gonna be a breakout player, and it's not going to be like probably the top 3. Truth be told.
And I mean, like when Gurley popped back out, I'm telling you, Saquon, man, people got to watch him. You better watch him because that first year Saquon came out, I might be trying to knock some of y'all off to make y'all draft Saquon so I can get some of all the other players. But, that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying?
He secretly want Alvin Kamara. That's what he doing.
Yeah. Hey, Kamara first round.
Pittman at 28, way too rich for my blood. Way too rich. That's 2.4.
Oh, 2.4.
That's 2.4. Because the first pick in the third round is 25. He going 28. I can't do it. I think he's a talented guy.
Third round.
We know Matt Ryan historically. Whoever his number one target is, they good as gold. Doesn't matter if it's Roddy White, Julio, or last year rookie Kyle Pitts. You good as gold when Matt Ryan is throwing you the ball and you're the number one option. There's still just way too much meat on the board at 28. I can't do it. I believe in his talent, but not to be taken at 28.
No doubt.
Okay, this man had 1,082 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he's the overall 28. How, Sway? How? I'm gonna take Big E's word. This man is mud.
Damn! Come on, man.
I am not a believer in Michael Thomas. I wasn't a believer in Michael Thomas when he was at USC. Hell, I'm not a believer in Michael Pittman. I'm not a believer in Michael Pittman at USC. Like I'm just not. I'm not.
Lee, good gracious. That's harsh. That's harsh, brother.
Yeah,
that is harsh.
His future sons, I ain't gonna be a believer of. Hey, Michael Pittman is dirt.
Disrespect the lineage.
Eat his children, Mike Tyson style. You know what I'm saying? Golly. But I think, like you said, it's the third round. Like you said, I mean, I wouldn't draft him in the third, but I feel like, let's see, Albert. Albert he's a stat guy.
My bad. It is 3.4. My bad.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to, But at the same time, I wouldn't draft him that high. I feel like that. I think he's a beast, but I don't think that he's all what everybody's trying to hype him up to be. It's always that wide receiver that somebody sees and they say, "Oh, he's the next, DK this year, or he's gonna do this and that." And
if Pittman is a beast, what is one highlight play that you can remember that Pittman has done?
Oh, you got
one
against him.
Give me one play.
You must have blew your ex-girlfriend. And you saw it. So,
he rough on Pittman, but I think I said, hey, I wouldn't draft him there. That's complaint. And you can get a running back there. I mean,
there's still running backs on the board at that point, in my opinion. Hines at 108. I'm not mad at it. That's what 9th, 10th round.
Definitely. I mean,
that's the last pick in the 9th round.
Yeah, JT gets hurt, or sometimes Hines just goes off. So you never know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, I mean that's where you get your handcuffs anyway, around the 9th, 10th round. So that's fair,
for sure.
Especially for the supposed number one. That offensive line is a problem. So especially if JT goes down, that could be gold right there.
Yeah.
We got the tight end Mo Alley Cox, 263. I'm not targeting him.
Who? That's the new, yeah. That's good.
I did a plug and play, and he for 2 weeks because Gronk got hurt, and he got me a touchdown both weeks. So I appreciate you, but yeah, who?
You got some love on. You still got some love for them two TDs. Hey, that's done.
Done. Tight ends. That's how they eat. Is if in fantasy. If you're not the top 6 tight end, you touchdown dependent at that point.
No doubt.
Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill at 169. I'm not drafting this guy.
No.
I'm not drafting him.
Malik Willis will be in the game before long. Give him a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Tannehill, he always messes up a good situation. Plus, it's a running scheme. I mean, Tannehill, he's fast. He can run, but I think, and I'm not trying to say Malik Willis this is going to be his year, but who knows? Tannehill could get hurt. He can rush better than Tannehill. So, I mean, if you got Henry going this way and Malik Willis going that way, plus he got a cannon, and Burke can't run routes. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, but he can catch a long ball. I mean, put him in. I mean, I don't like Tannehill.
I know. Tannehill, he's gonna be out there fighting for his life. He knows that he got some. He knows someone's nipping on his heels. But I look at him like Tannehill will always give you 5 to 6 rushing touchdowns a year. He actually has like one of the highest rushing attempts, and I want to say that like he scores on like every 2 times he runs the football, which is kind of crazy. And then plus with everyone's still going to stack the box with King Henry, which is going to open up that play action opportunity, which is how AJ Brown was created. With those play action opportunities, I feel like Tannehill's not necessarily draftable for fantasy football purposes, but again, I feel like he's one of the high end players that you could pick up for a bye week.
For sure. Fair, especially if they play like the Texans or something that week.
Exactly. They're in a poor division too, so hey.
Yeah. King Henry at 8. I think that's disrespectful.
That's incredibly disrespectful.
He could be number one. He could be number one. I mean, I've been in drafts where he's been number one. I've been in drafts where I've drafted number 2. He's, I don't see him.
He's my RB2. He's my number 2 pick behind JT.
Right. Number 2 pick for me too. So I mean, I don't know. I ain't seen 8th. I don't know. That was first I saw. When I saw that, I had to look twice. I couldn't believe it. But your thoughts, Fox? What do you think, bro?
Yeah, whoever put him at 8th is incredibly retarded, and I don't use that word lightly.
Right.
Yeah, the man is production wise. he was in a.
Hey, it was a good run. It was a good run wild last year.
I mean, look.
He waited till the app went live to drop the R word. We done.
So
we got the R word now. Come on,
my bad. I take it back.
We ain't PC. I'm fat. Yeah.
Hey, I look at it like this: like the man led the league in rushing for 9 weeks, even after he got hurt. Incredibly talented. It's going to be a run first offense, especially now with AJ Brown being gone. There's going to be even more emphasis on running the football. And then like Robert Woods is one of like the best blocking receivers in the league. So I feel like it's gonna be, they're gonna chug along and have that similar production as last year.
Yeah, it was interesting. They have Woods at 103 and Burks at 105 full PPR.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That was surprising. Like I said, yeah, you're mentally challenged if you're picking him. Hey, we gotta be PC. What? Come on, man.
Hey,
you are developmentally disabled.
There it is. Hey, big words. Fancy book learning.
Hey, you're gonna have to write an apology or else.
Oh man, get out of here, please.
We got former Atlanta and former Cleveland tight end Austin, was it Hooper?
Yeah.
166. I don't think no one's targeting him. Not even for a bye week. Not with Tannehill as a quarterback.
Yeah, not in a 12-man league.
Yeah.
I'm with y'all. I mean, desperation.
Yeah.
Super flex before you play.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. Shout out to the Melon app for letting us do what we do well.
Much
Trevor Lawrence 147. I'm not touching him at all. I think he might be all right long term as a professional, but I'm cool.
We gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lawrence, I don't know. It's like they were hyping him up. He changed up, and for the preseason game, he was slinging that ball. Boy, he can sling it. That's those commentators' favorite saying. He can sling it. I can sling it. I can sling it. But can I hit somebody in the chest? That's what I'm looking for. And I mean, I'm not drafting him. He got to show me. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Like I say, I'm from Missouri sometime. You got to show me.
I like that.
You missed that one last week. What you got?
Trevor Lawrence is, fantasy football purposes, not really draftable. But at the same time, the man has immense talent. He's somebody that I would keep on your radar. He has he's going to be in a competent offense this year that's going to set him up for success. And I think they do have the coordinators down there to be successful as well. So I could definitely see him having a rebound year. Is he going to be enough to tickle your fancy for fantasy football purposes? Probably not. But this is good outlook for 2023.
For sure. We have Etienne at 38. What you got, Brother Fox?
I think Etienne is going to come out. I think he's going to come out like gangbusters. This man's going to be. He's been away from football for a year. This is. I feel like he's going to have a chance to win Comeback Player of the Year. I think Etienne is gonna have a quality season because no one really knows his style of play. No one really knows how they're going to utilize him in that offense. I think that for fantasy purposes on the Jaguars, he's really the only person that I can see putting up potentially quality numbers and in someone's lineup on a weekly basis.
I hear you. I feel, and I say, I wish you had those cards. I would you put the poop sign up, put the poop sign up beside ATN because
really,
I'm talking about. I wasn't impressed in Clemson. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of weapons at Clemson. But he got to shine on some. But I never thought he would have been a first round pick. I don't know if a lot of people didn't think he was going to be a first round pick. But he came in, he got hurt. Okay, so he's coming off of an injury. Now you're seeing highlights. James Robinson, he already showing off. He's showing off. He ain't on the pup list. You know what I'm saying? He's doing big things, even though we thought, we had wrote him off, So he's the bigger back. So he's going to, we saw him eat before. I think he's going to eat again. But I'm not going to say that ATN is going to be a complete bust or wash. I say that I would rather get Robinson at, 108 or something like that, or it's later. You know what I'm saying?
So I guarantee. What's going to happen with Robinson is what happens with a lot of teams. There's a lot of NFL politics that come into play when it comes behind the scenes on who gets playing time, who gets tick, who gets that. Robinson was I want to say it was 6th or 7th round draft pick, and even though he came out and had that wonderful, amazing rookie year, last year kind of set him back in terms of like where he sits in the league. Now you have a player who was drafted in the first round, who's on that first round contract. You're paying this man, even though he was like a mid-20s pick, he's still making over the course of his contract, $10 million, which is what you're paying high-end running backs nowadays. So the politics are going to come into play when it comes to ETN, and they're going to be like, hey, look, I know Robinson's a quality player, but this man was a first-round draft pick. We need to give this man his touches. And I'd say at the beginning of the year, you're probably going to see a balanced backfield with him and Robinson. But by week 7, week 8, I guarantee you, ETN's going to be getting 70% of the carries.
I'm curious to see how it works. I look at them as the poor man's version of Chubb and Hunt. I think ETN's going to have more of a Hunt role where he probably gets, close to 10 rushes, but probably has closer to 4 to 5 receptions a game. And they keep him in that 14 to 15 touches per game. Robinson, they already said he's the starter and that he's the favorite back, which kind of scared me off from Etienne. Not to say that Etienne will be a bust, but we're at 30 at 38. I'm cool, but he does have some upside. Jags are going to be bad again. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the first pick 3 years in a row. And if he's the receiving back, if he's the Hunt, that's going to play into his expertise of catching out of the backfield, which is a large reason why they drafted him. So we'll see. 38's too rich for me, but I do think he's probably should be ranked in the mid to late 40s. James Robinson, 123. I think that's a steal.
No, it was worse than what I thought. Yeah, definitely a steal. I'm taking James Robinson all day. I'll wait on him.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I'm hoping on. I hope y'all take James Robinson. So when he hits that bench and ETN comes in, I'm going to be like,
hey, but if you draft him at 123, you're getting him in the 11th round.
But ATN was drafted and walked off the stage into the blue tent. So I have no confidence in the man.
The blue tent valedictorian?
Yeah, that's unprecedented. That's unprecedented. He shook the commissioner's hand, hugged him, and walked in.
You a fool, Big E. You a fool, bro.
Into the blue tent. Yes, I said it. Yeah.
He got his helmet and went straight to the blue tent.
Yes, definitely. Y'all can't say it.
We got Christian Kirk at 96. I'm not touching him.
I don't know. 96, I don't know. It depends. Like we say, a lot of things go with draft. If I've drafted heavy, RB, maybe 3 RBs with my first picks, and I'm trying to scramble for wide receivers, I give them a try. Even Zay Jones. I mean, just to have some wide receivers, see who will shine on my bench.
Yeah,
I know. Chark used to put up numbers in that offense. Like I look at someone got to catch the football.
That's not the same offense. They didn't change 2 head coaches since then.
Touche.
That's I think the old Philly is was it Doug Peterson?
Doug Peterson, yeah.
And then they had what's his name last year? Oh, kicking the kicker.
Yeah,
Urban Meyer.
And getting grinded on.
You're right.
Getting grinded on in the club.
I stay away.
Right. Won't you grind on me? Listen to that Pretty Ricky.
Grind for me. Slow winding on it.
Yeah, right?
Stupid.
Evan Ingram at 155. I'm cool. Hype job, straight out of college.
Yeah.
Never did anything in New York. I have zero expectations for him.
Yeah, it's soul glow. I said he got too much soul glow in his hair, man. He ain't gonna do nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't rock with anybody with a Jerry Carroll. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it was in the '80s, but that's
Yeah, hard pass.
Last but least, we got the Houston Texans.
Oh, come on now. They got some value. There's some value in there.
I like the quarterback. 253 for Mills.
Oh, long neck himself.
Come on,
oh, giraffe neck. Have you seen this man's neck? Have you seen this man's neck? He needs a turtleneck sponsorship, something. Jesus fucking Christ.
Merton Hanks.
I feel sorry for his mom. They must have been pulling on his head for a minute, bro. Just like, Jesus.
That's hurt piece right there. That's hurt piece. Hey, I think that he has some potential. I mean, he has some big games. People who were lucky enough to play him and that was in a bad situation when he got 40-some points in a game and different things like that. I mean, they wouldn't thinking that. They were just thinking they might get an 18-point game, hoping for an 18-point game, and he blew for him. So the main reason, I don't know, I would try him, in a 2-quarterback league, which we always talk about 12-team, just single quarterback. But if you're in a tight pinch, I would throw him in there, especially against the right matchup.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they got Pierce at 129, but what were you about to say?
Well, I don't know. For me, it's just the only draftable player really on the Texans is Cook.
That's right. There you go.
Other than I feel like Cook he's gonna put up those deceptive numbers. He had a quality season last year.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, other than that, Pierce is nice, but I think I heard isn't he hurt?
He's still the highest rated running back on the thing, so that's why I went with them. They got Marlon Mack at 157. I don't want to touch either one of them.
Man,
hey,
he's about a blue
tent Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Woo! He got the cash. He got the
golden cast.
Yeah. You've been to Canton. You seen it.
Hey, Marlon Mack's golden neck knee brace.
They blue. He got the blue Hall of Fame.
A knee brace.
Man. Yeah. Wow. 5-time Golden Knee Brace Award winner.
Yeah,
Marlon Mack.
Bro. That should be the Blue Tent Player of the Year. We should hand out the Golden Knee Brace.
Yeah, we will. That's a given now. That's a given.
You got to have the all mud team and the Golden Knee Brace at the end of the year.
Award. The Golden Knee Brace award goes to.
They got Cooks at 42. That's early fourth. I like him, but I need late 4th, 5th for me.
Yeah.
I've been mocking with him, getting him in the 5th, and that's where I'm kind of accustomed to. How you guys feel?
Right, they were showing him in the 50s at first. They were showing him in the 50s, almost at 60, and then he's just gradually people are just moving up. They're moving up. It's kind of like how J.K. Dobbins was doing, and now he's reclining. Now they talking like he's coming back, up a little bit. So we're gonna see.
Yeah.
But I like Cooks though. But I don't know if I get him in the 4th. No.
Yeah. Not in the 4th. too rich for my blood. 5th round is like, I feel like the perfect spot for him.
Right.
They got a tight end by the last name of Jordan, 221.
Thank you.
Once again, shout out to the Fantasy Football Network. Shout out to the Melon app for giving us this platform to do what we love to do. You guys want to plug anyone or add anything in?
Shout out to Albert for always being here, coming through. Like, hey, week to week, Albert's here more than I am. Jesus Christ!
Albert is the Don. Albert is the Don. One player I did want to say is Alec Pierce. I think if Pittman is mud, you know what I'm saying, then he has to throw to somebody. And Matty Ice gonna find somebody. You know, you get Gage and different things like that. I think Alec Pierce. He's dropping in a lot of leagues, you know, and you know, late 8th, 9th, 10th, you know what I'm saying? If you can get him, pick him up, because Pittman could definitely be a bust, and that would be the guy.
Yeah.
Not mad at it.
No doubt.
Yeah, Alec Pierce had some good year last year in Cincinnati for sure. He has the long speed. Just the only issue with him is route running. It's like, can he develop NFL route running? So
that's right. That's true.
We're going to wrap up this series with the AFC and NFC West. It's going to get ugly. Hopefully we catch you guys. We can promote this one and catch you guys next week. Stay tuned for Boom Bust after this. Take care, y'all.
Boom Bust.
Go Chiefs.
I already knew.